So essentially, when you go out in the field, there's kind of different phases of the process when you are going to approach someone, survey them, and kind of disengage from that experience. Every person is different, obviously, but kind of the steps you take are generally the same. So the first step essentially is assessment, right? You're assessing your surroundings, you're assessing where you are, where your teammates are, and then whether or not you should approach that person. With the assessment, things might come up just in that first piece, like should I approach that person? Is it safe to approach that person? So some of those feelings might be coming up before you even actually connect with someone, right? After that, you have the actual approach. So when you're approaching someone, what might come up during that experience? So as an example, how is the participant going to react to you coming up to them? That might be something that might make some of us have some feelings. Just the general nervousness of talking to a new person. When we are engaging with people that we don't know, there might be some nervousness, like did I say the right thing? Did I say the wrong thing? So that could be something that comes up. Then we have the third phase, which is surveying. So going through all the questions with them, being familiar with the actual instrument. Maybe, when your first week, you might have, is this being worded correctly? Or if they have a follow-up question, like how do I answer that question about this question? Things like that. So, and then also there's a lot of sensitive questions on our survey. So kind of walking through with someone, that experience, holding space for the feelings that might come up for them. And then we have compensation. So when we're compensating someone, sometimes people are upset at the form of compensation because we have McDonald's cards, we have Visa cards that we give out. Some people would prefer cash. Wouldn't we all prefer cash? So sometimes having to have that conversation with them can be a little bit tricky. And then it's the ending of that engagement. Kind of like what Gina was saying when she came up, she was also saying how sometimes you want to do more than just doing a survey with someone. Sometimes you want to be able to connect them, more directly with the things that they need. So, or sometimes someone's just really chatty and it's like, okay, thank you. So how do you navigate those? So just kind of going through those different phases, those are just examples of some things that might come up. So I think I can pass it back to you at this point and then you can explain the next steps. Yeah.
Okay, that got me through that, thank you. So we wanted to kind of go through the different phases. And when thinking about it, we also wanted to ask you, what are some of the things that you imagine might happen when you're in the phase of assessment where you're walking, you're looking around and you've determined that here's a group of people and you want to go up to them. What are some possible things that might happen that could be stressful? Any thoughts? So there could be needles on the floor. You could recognize that there's drug use in the environment, and it might not feel safe to you. Anything else in the assessment? Where's the list? What comes next? Okay. So, here's the approach part. You're walking up to somebody, and you're going to be asking them if they want to take part in the survey. What might happen? Has anyone who's been through it before had somebody respond in a way that made you uncomfortable? Yes?
Got cussed out.
Got cussed out? Yes?
To just basically speak towards that, I would say on the approach, a lot of them are feeling like we're authority. They're worried about the police, they're worried about service workers, they're worried about the government, so just to break that down, that's a lot of them, they're gonna be giving off that vibe,
who are you?
Are you trying to get me to move from here? Because a lot of them you want me to pack up my tent, so they
Suspicion, fear coming up from
so
them.
once you just understand hey, I can relate to you because of this, find some way to relate to them. No, I'm not the police, just figure it out and they see you as authority.
Yes. Okay, so those are two good things. You might come into an environment, there might be some drug use going on. You know that it's likely that the person that you approach might, in fact, be suspicious and fearful of you and the role that you play and the authority that you might have. Anything else back there?
A lot of times there would be like bystanders or just like people who lived in the neighborhood. They were kind of like curious of what we were doing. Those people would get really aggressive with me because of what I was doing. So yeah.
Okay, so people may not understand, people might see you coming into an environment and want you to leave.
Right. So no, like the neighbors, they would see that instead of me trying to get that person that's experiencing homelessness out of the neighborhood or away from their, their house, they would get upset because that's not what I'm there to do, to try to make them to move.
Right, okay.
I have a
Okay,
question.
so,
I had a question. I mean, isn't it how you basically conduct yourself and carry yourself? You already know that this is something, we're out there to, I guess, okay, well, take surveys and this, that, the other. But it's also how you carry yourself, your spirit, because if you have a happy spirit, like me, because I go to church, so I love people no matter what, So if you have a happy spirit and you're humble and they see that smile, I mean, you get more people to talk to.
so I think what you're saying, I think, is an important piece, and that's that the way that you carry yourself and the message that you put out might bring back something. But I just think it's important to recognize that we're all humans, so there may be a situation that you come into where the other person, no matter how you approach it, they may react a certain way because of something else that's going on with them that you don't have any control over. And vice versa, you may go into a situation where you see something and it triggers something for you that you didn't expect.